Today, I'm going to explain a crime film called Mother. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. A middle-aged woman walks through a field of grass. Suddenly, she begins to dance, and a tormented look slowly creeps to her face. Sometime before, the woman goes on with her daily life as she works in her herbal medicine store. One afternoon, she witnesses her son get hit by a car, spurring her to rush and check if he's okay. Do-jun is extremely distressed, and after his mother frantically helps him up, he yells at her to go back to the store. Despite his mother's worried protests, he runs away and gets in a car with his friend, Jin-tae, who's set on getting revenge. Together, they follow the car to a local golf course where they search for the black Mercedes-Benz. Upon finding the car, Jin-tae delivers a flying kick to its side mirror, breaking it. Do-jun tries to copy his friend, only to fail clumsily. While waiting for the owner, the two hang around the golf course. Jin-tae guesses that Do-jun doesn't even remember why they're there, and sure enough, Do-jun is distracted by all the golf balls he's collecting. When Jin-tae wonders aloud what his mother sees in him, Do-jun remembers that he got hit by a car and that they're there for revenge. Just then, a small trolley comes up and the two young men chase after it. They hide in the bushes for an ambush until Do-jun suddenly appears in front of the approaching trolley. Though he's equipped with a branch that he doesn't know what to do with, he ends up chickening out. Jin-tae is disappointed in him, and he takes matters into his own hands. He chases after the trolley, demands them to stop, then antagonizes the group of middle-aged golfers using their own golf club. While Jin-tae is sizing them up to find out who the driver is, Do-jun joins the fray. They all end up flailing together on the ground soon after. At the police station, Jae-moon, the officer in charge, speaks with the group of men who are actually respected professors. He suggests that they arrange for a settlement as the appropriate legal action since the two boys were never juvenile offenders, they're just local kids. However, they have to pay for the broken side mirror. Knowing that Do-jun's already forgotten about what happened, Jin-tae asks him why he broke the mirror. Sure enough, Do-jun, who was busy writing his name on a golf ball, starts believing that he did it. One of the professors mocks Do-jun's intellectual disability, and just like that, something inside him snapped. He tries to assault the man, but the officer holds him back. To Jae-moon's amusement, Do-jun's mother arrives at the station. Back at Do-jun's home, his mother coddles and dotes on him, placing the pieces of his food one by one on his plate. Do-jun, however, keeps removing the pieces from his plate, and after asserting that he can feed himself, he starts eating. They then discuss the payment for the broken side mirror, and Do-jun tells his mother to borrow money from Jin-tae. Do-jun's mother warns him to stay away from that friend of his, saying that he's a rotten fellow. Do-jun then abruptly leaves to go see him. Before he's able to leave for the bus, Do-jun's mother rushes in to make him drink his medication. She feeds him the bowl of medicine herself, all while Do-jun is urinating near the bus stop. But when the bus comes, he quickly goes running after it. Do-jun's mother tries to borrow some money from her friend in exchange for herbal medicine that would help her conceive. She even throws in a free acupuncturing session to go along with it. Meanwhile, Do-jun is heavily drunk in a bar while waiting for Jin-tae for a long time now. Hours later, Do-jun is woken up from his drunken stupor by the bar owner. He then happens upon Mina, a friend of his who he flirts with. The bar owner tells Mina to go inside, and she snaps at Do-jun to go away. Not having any money to pay for the drinks, ever ridiculous, Do-jun offers some of the golf balls he picked up earlier as payment. Later, as he's walking home, Do-jun sees a young girl in a student uniform and asks her if she wants to have a drink with him. The girl ignores him completely, never once turning to look at him. When she makes a sharp turn to a dark alley of an abandoned building, Do-jun stops following her, but he gets startled when someone from the alley throws a rock in his direction. With that, Do-jun decides to leave and comes home to sleep next to his mother. The following morning, Moon-ah, the girl that Do-jun was following, is found dead on the rooftop of the building she fled to. Back in the mother's shop, her boss is chiding her over the lousy quality of the imports. When she spots the mother's acupuncture kit poking out of her pocket, she ominously asks if she's performing acupunctures without a license again. Despite the precarious position she's in, the mother keeps looking over her boss's shoulder to keep watch as an officer speaks with Do-jun across the street. Soon enough, the officer takes him to his car, causing the mother to panic and run after them. The driver gets distracted by Do-jun's mother, and their car ends up getting hit by a bus. This rattles Do-jun and the policeman, and the mother arrives to see Do-jun in cuffs. Later at the police station, Do-jun is interrogated by the police. Their questioning goes nowhere, but they're all convinced that Do-jun committed the crime since Jae-moon found the golf ball with Do-jun's name on it next to Moon-ah's body. Despite the gravity of the situation, Do-jun remains immensely confused by the whole thing, and the cops make him sign a confession that he doesn't even understand. Later, Do-jun's mother pleads with Jae-moon, but he tells her the case is already closed, serving as proof of their own incompetence. During Moon-ah's funeral, Do-jun's mother attends but is quickly met with hostility from Moon-ah's family. A commotion ensues when Do-jun's mother tries to tell them that Do-jun wasn't the killer, as everyone unanimously blames Do-jun for Moon-ah's death. This ends with the mother receiving a harsh slap. Do-jun's mother then tries to hire a lawyer, but he rejects their case when he meets Do-jun, who can't even remember anything from that night. Do-jun's mother then begins to suspect Jin-tae because he was the only other person who knew about the golf balls, and he didn't even come to meet Do-jun when he was supposed to. Do-jun's mother proceeds to break into Jin-tae's home to search for evidence against him. She spots a book of scientific investigation on his table, and inside his closet, she finds the golf club that Jin-tae took from the golf course. The golf club has a red mark on it, and the mother is horrified as she believes it to be blood. Before she could leave the house, she hears Jin-tae and Mina coming in, so she quickly hides in Jin-tae's closet. The young couple makes love, and together, they fall asleep. This is when Do-jun's mother takes the chance and makes her way out of the house as discreetly as possible. At the police station, Do-jun's mother is disappointed when the police declare that the blood from the golf club was just a lipstick stain. Jin-tae is even confronted about it, but he's able to clear his name. Do-jun's mother leaves the police station feeling cross and hopeless. It's raining heavily that day, but she refuses to take Officer Jae-moon's umbrella. A junk collector passes her, and she pays for his umbrella instead. She then gets picked up by one of her attorney's men. He takes her to a karaoke bar, where she finds her supposed attorney drunk and partying with his sleeping friends. He tells her that the best thing he can do is to have Do-jun institutionalized in a hospital for 4 years instead of being in jail for 15 years. When the mother returns home, she is greeted by the ever-grim-looking Jin-tae. He calmly demands a settlement since she broke into his house and even tried to incriminate him. Though the mother doesn't have enough money, she gives Jin-tae what she could and promises to pay him the rest when she can. Before leaving, Jin-tae stops to give the mother some advice. There are only 3 motives for murder: money, passion, and vengeance. Moon-ah wasn't rich, so it had to be passion or vengeance. He also notes that Moon-ah was hoisted for everyone to see, meaning that the murderer wanted to show off what he did. Finally, Jin-tae sends his sympathies as he mentions that the police used Do-jun as a scapegoat for their incompetence. For his last piece of advice, Jin-tae warns her not to trust anyone, not even him. The next day, Do-jun's mother tries to look for her next lead. She ends up speaking with some schoolboys who comment that Moon-ah was very promiscuous and that she had the nickname Rice Cake Girl. She even slept with a guy called Crazy JP, who had escaped from a sanatorium. In the prison yard, one of the inmates encourages his friend to mock Do-jun's disability, promising that it'll be funny. The man approaches Do-jun, who's crouched on the ground while rubbing his temples rapidly as that's his thinking and remembering stance. He taunts Do-jun's disability, then backs off disappointedly when Do-jun didn't retaliate. When his back's turned, however, Do-jun suddenly gives him a flying kick. Do-jun's face is bruised up when his deathly worried mother visits him again. She expresses her concern over his poor body, but Do-jun remains dismissive of her. Then, he says that he remembered something after getting beat up. Covering the bruised half of his face, Do-jun tells his mother that he remembered her trying to kill him with insecticide when he was just 5. The revelation sends his mother screaming in horror as she feels wrought with guilt. She frantically tries to explain that she was so desperate at the time that she wanted to kill the both of them so they can go together. Weakly, she offers to use acupuncture to trigger the right nerve in his thigh so he can forget all of the horrible memories. Do-jun doesn't hear her out, and he tells her not to visit him ever again. Do-jun's mother then goes to her friend Mi-seon's photo store to have an old photo of Do-jun restored. During this time, Mi-seon remembers that Moon-ah once came into her store with a friend to develop some cell phone photos, but Moon-ah suddenly got a nosebleed before they could do it. With this new lead, Do-jun's mother visits Moon-ah's friend, who she finds near a bus terminal after school. When the girl's friend tells her that she can make phone cameras silent, the mother asks her to make hers silent too. As the girl tweaks the mother's phone inside a store, she spots 2 male students outside. The mother tries to ask about Moon-ah's phone, but instead of answering, the girl asks her to buy her a sanitary pad. Despite her uncertainty, the mother complies, and when she returns, the young girl is gone. The mother follows her to an alleyway where the students are harassing her in search of Moon-ah's phone. Do-jun's mother catches the attention of the local worker who happened by, and the worker scares off the 2 boys. The mother follows the young boys through town and calls Jin-tae. In an abandoned amusement park, Do-jun hands Jin-tae some cash, and she enlists his help. Jin-tae then beats up the two students and interrogates them. Here, they find out that Moona sleeps with man in exchange for rice, earning her the nickname Rice Cake Girl. They claim that her phone has photos of all the men she's slept with and that it must have contained photos of more than 24 men. With this newfound information, Jin-tae surmises to the mother that whoever killed Moona must be in one of the photos. The mother then goes to see Moona's confused and eccentric grandmother. Do-jun's mother manages to trick the grandmother into giving her Moona's phone. There, she sees all of the photos of the men that Moona has slept with. She goes to see Do-jun, who tells her that he had remembered something. There was an old man the night that Moona was murdered. The mother browses through the photos until Do-jun pinpoints who it was. Upon seeing the photo, the mother notes that she's seen the man before. He was the junk collector she bought an umbrella from. Do-jun's mother then goes to visit the old man in his house. There, she poses as a volunteer for a social workers group. The old man eases up around her and invites her to have a seat while he tells her that he's witnessed a terrible incident lately. She then offers him a free acupuncture session, specifically mentioning that she can trigger the nerve in his thigh so he can forget all of his horrible memories. Finally, the old man starts to reveal what really happened the night Moona died. He was settling in the abandoned building so he can sleep. There, he noticed Do-jun following Moona, and when she went to the alley, she suddenly blew up on Do-jun. Frustrated with him, men, and the world, she ended up tossing a rock in his direction and insulted his disability. As always, this infuriated him, and without thinking, he threw the rock back at her. It ended up hitting her head, and she died from blunt force trauma. This left Do-jun confused, and as the girl's bleeding on the ground, he took her to the building's rooftop. At this point in the story, Do-jun's mother is completely horrified by the man's account of the events. When he attempts to call the police to tell them about what happened, the mother becomes blinded by rage, and she ends up killing the old man with a wrench. After coming back to her senses, Do-jun's mother panics, and she tries to figure out what she should do next. She then burns down the entire house to cover up the evidence. She moves out of there before it could burn down, then wanders around in the woods, where she becomes more and more overwhelmed by everything that has happened. Back at the store, the mother is visited by Officer Jae-moon, who happily tells her that they finally caught the real killer. On the car ride, an officer explains that Crazy JP was behind Moona's murder. They found bloodstains on his shirt, but JP reasoned that the stains were from a nosebleed that Moona had while they were hooking up. Jae-moon dismissed it as an excuse, and it led to his arrest. Do-jun's mother asks why they suspect JP, and the police officer says that JP is a normal. It is later revealed that Crazy JP, like her son, also has an intellectual disability. When Do-jun's mother discovers this, she is moved to tears. She asks JP if he has parents, and to this, he shakes his head. Growing more distraught, she then asks if he has a mother, and JP seems to nod. The mother breaks down now, realizing someone else's mother will be suffering for the actions of her son, Do-jun. Do-jun is finally released from prison. Outside the police station, he is fetched by Jin-tae and Mina. The three drive over to visit the junk collector's house, which burned to the ground. Later, Do-jun and his mother talk over lunch. Do-jun tells her that he thinks the reason why Crazy JP had put Moona's body up so high for everyone to see was so someone could notice her bleeding and help take her to the hospital. Do-jun's mother sits quietly as she realizes that this was what Do-jun was thinking when he brought Moona's body on the roof. One day, Do-jun's mother goes on a bus tour set up for parents. Do-jun buys several things for his mother for the tour. While waiting for the bus, he gives his mother a gift. The mother is astonished when she sees her acupuncture set, which she left in the junk collector's house when she killed him. Do-jun tells her that he found it there, then warns her not to leave it lying around. Filled with a never-ending cycle of guilt, the mother storms off in shock. Inside the bus, the mothers on the trip have a dance party in the all while Do-jun's mother sits quietly. She takes out her acupuncture set and pushes it in her thigh, trying to erase all her horrible memories. Finally, she stands up and dances along to the music. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.